Okay, so we have some stuff to go over in the Overwatch League. Two things mainly. What we're going to start off with is we're going to start off with coaching movement actually, but this is going to be us concentrating mostly on Boston and Toronto. And these moves are interesting. These moves are very, very interesting. So, yeah, let's look at Toronto first. And they've brought in a new coach. This is Yang Wan. Now, Yang Wan, actually, I really like this pickup. Yang Wan has got a history going back to 2017 with Overwatch, and he's been with two teams previous to Toronto. This would be Runaway and Vancouver Titans, which, that's a pretty great history. I mean, when we look at Runaway, he was with Runaway when they got their first, when they beat Condu Panthera. And then, or, was it Condu Panthera? It was Team Condu, / Condu Panthera. Condu Panthera's got a kind of mixed history. And then, comes into Vancouver. Vancouver do really great in their first season. And then ends up leaving along with the rest of the Vancouver roster when Runaway basically leaves Vancouver. And that was all sort of a mess, and we all know about that, blah, blah, blah. And it means that he has got coaching pedigree, though. I mean, he's coached Runaway to really great things. He's coached Vancouver Titans to really great things. So, him alongside KDG, I think that's a good pickup for Toronto. I really I rate that pickup for Toronto. I really like it. So I think they will benefit a lot from extra coaching there. And I hope that they can utilize him well, is what I would say. But that is the pickup at Toronto. The main pickup we are going to be looking at is actually at Boston. And this one is a weird one, I'm not going to lie. So, Boston, they've brought in quite a few players in this off-season. And they've been rejigging the roster as per usual. And in the DPS line, they had I'm 37 and they managed to keep Color Hex. Now, you know, we had our ifs and stuff over Color Hex and whatever. I'm 37 was a good pickup. He won Korean Contenders with WGS Phoenix. He was on loan from Uprising Academy. He's been now promoted to the full Uprising roster. He was formerly at Toronto Defiant. I think, honestly, I'm 37 was a great pickup. But now, Boston have decided to take this a step further and sign yet another DPS player. This is Soon. So Soon, the French DPS player, 26 now, was at the Paris Eternal. And obviously Paris Eternal fell apart, and they couldn't maintain his contract because, you know, they're facing financial difficulties, and therefore they couldn't keep up with it. So, a little bit of a weird one, this one, because I'm wondering exactly where Soon fits into this roster. He's going to play very similar roles to I'm37. And so, are they going to utilize Soon? I mean, Soon could work alongside Fusions, but that's a bit of an odd pairing up. I don't know where this fits in. I really don't know where this fits in the Boston Uprising. As Soon as experience and someone more reliable, perhaps they are wondering if I'm37 may be a little bit of a flop, and therefore they want to back up who is pretty much reliable, which Soon can be counted on to be pretty much reliable. But apart from that, it seems a little bit of a very left-wing pickup and a very odd one. And so I'm not quite sure why the Boston Uprising have gone ahead and signed Soon here. Yeah, I would imagine he's earning more than 50k. Simply because otherwise, why would he not just stay with Paris and take a low contract and play for his home team? It's a little bit odd. Soon, he sticks out like a sore thumb on this roster. And I don't know, it's not like it's a 12-man, it's not like what Hangzhou are doing, right? Where you could go pretty much one whole Chinese and one whole Korean roster. However, at Boston you can't do this. They have 3 Korean and 4, well, I mean Western, I mean they got 2 Australians, an Australian and a New Zealand, I should say. So it's a Frankenstein roster. And I'm very interested to see how this pieces together. I thought that Boston were going to go majority Korean. And therefore, it would kind of make sense with the appointment of Laurie as head coach. But with this development, we're now looking at it and saying, well, what direction is this team going in? It's clearly mixed. Soon, I don't understand Soon's signing. I really don't. I think they will start with I'm 37, simply because A, he's younger, he's more of a longer term option for the Boston Uprising to keep on the roster, and he's not, he's not short on experience, and he's just won Korean Contenders. The good thing about the signings that Boston have made is that both Stand 1 and I'm 37 will be able to speak English. So, I don't know about Myungbong, but they should be okay. Myungbong may be able to speak English as well, he might have been learning. Also, Soon. One bonus about having Soon is the fact that he was on the Paris Eternal last year. Paris Eternal was a mixed roster. It was part French, part Korean. So, Soon has that ability to knit this sort of mixed roster together with the likes of Punk, Color Hex. They will be able to mix in with Fusions, obviously, and then they'll be mixing in with Myungbong, I'm 37 and Stand 1, and Soon will be perhaps the sort of the glue between those parts, especially Myungbong. So that's one way I could see Soon of being used to the Boston Uprising, but it's just weird. I am sort of clutching at straws to find a reason why Soon has been included on this roster, considering they have I'm 37. And so, yeah, it's odd. It does, however, add strength and depth to the DPS side of the Boston Uprising. And I think it makes Boston Uprising actually pretty alright in a double hit scan meta. I think it will benefit them quite heavily. In the long run, it's not going to sort out their major DPS problems in my opinion, which is Color Hex. I don't think Color Hex is quite up to scratch. I don't think we've seen anything from Color Hex this season that has actually resembled anything that might, make this Boston Uprising team better. Maybe they are putting faith in Laurie's coaching, that maybe he'll be able to get more out of Color Hex, but he really will have to if they are expecting to do more than what they did last season. However, I do think there have been significant improvements to this Boston Uprising lineup, however. It'll be interesting to see... It will be interesting to see quite exactly how it all fits in, and how Laurie knits this all together. So, yeah, Soon's an interesting one. It's an interesting one, and it's caught a lot of people off guard, I think. It's caught a lot of people off guard. I think it's a good signing. Do I think it's a needed signing? I have my doubts. But, yeah, that's where we're at. So, yeah, we're seeing Yangwon come into the Toronto Defiant, which I think is a really great coaching signing. And then we're seeing Soon come into the Boston Uprising, which I think will actually be good for them in some metas, but I don't think it will improve them massively overall because of the fact that they already had I'm 37. But I am going to leave it here for this one. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you'd like to give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. See you then.